Welcome to the show, everyone. I was so triggered last weekend. I thought my man was cheating. So, we're going to talk today about what every empowered woman goes through that can come up and bite you in the ass without even recognizing that it's happening. And that is trauma, being triggered, spiraling, feeling that wave of adrenaline hitting your chest, and then still finding the words to speak clearly and honestly. Isn't about performing any perfect way of being human. It's about what it looks like to be conscious, to be embodied, and a woman who knows how to use her voice and who knows that her voice can heal and lead even when her nervous system is feeling a little bit of out of control or feeling activated. So let me take you into a moment from this past weekend. We have to start there because it is truly a perfect example of what grounded communication really looks like. And I'm going to be giving you several steps in today's podcast episode to help you communicate with your loved ones while you're in the thick of it, right? Because vocal honey and everything that we're about in this community isn't about the perfect polished moments on stage where everything is going right. It is really about the moments that stretch us, that can trigger us, that make us feel big emotions. How do we stay present? How do we stay grounded so that we can get to the solution we really, really want in the everyday moment or the everyday stage? So let me paint the picture for you real quick. Saturday morning, Brandon was leaving the house. That's my fiance, to go help work on his vintage Ford truck with his dad. But it was an unplanned kind of last minute decision to go help his dad. And it was totally normal, totally safe, totally innocent. But out of nowhere, my body felt like it was 10, 11 years ago when I was in a previous marriage and found out that my ex-husband had been falling back in love with his ex-wife who lived in Finland. Yeah, she's not even on this damn continent, right? So abandonment wound triggered yet again. My chest tightened. I became irritable. My breath got shallow. My stomach did a backflip, all of those things. And my head immediately leapt into, he's cheating. Now, logically, I knew this wasn't true. And Brandon and I have been together for 7 years. We've been here before. This trigger came up before. And we worked through it because at the core of our relationship is trust and truth. But triggers don't come from logic, they come from memory. They don't come from logic, they come from muscle memory, from the body, from past experiences that created that blueprint inside your nervous system. So instead of judging myself or pretending nothing was happening, I named it. I put voice to it. I acknowledged it and I brought it into the relationship. So this is what I really want you to know is that the toughest moments of your life, you can communicate it. You can take that brave step forward and ask for help, ask for the love you need. This is what vocal honey is. It is about putting your voice to your soul and your human experience, no matter what it's going through. I put my money where my mouth is. I was like, I'm going to put these teachings into practice right now. And I walked into the room where Brandon was when he got back from working with his dad. And I said, hey, I know that you can feel I'm really off right now. I know that you can feel that something is different and I'm spiraling. I have been triggered and I would like to talk it out with you because I know that you'll be able to help me shift this. Nothing is wrong on your end. You've done nothing wrong. And at this point, he smiled and he kind of tilted his head. His presence and ability to just receive those words came because of the way I delivered the words. You can't be walking around with a voice that's like a machine gun. Voices used with a bunch of adrenaline and anger are only going to cut people down, shoot them down. And if you've been using your voice like that up until this moment, I want you to feel encouraged because there is another way. There is another speed. There is another tool, a way to change the tone of your voice in a high intense moment where you do not feel safe or you feel triggered, that you can use your voice in a different way and get the healing that you need. But it starts with radical acceptance of who you are and what you're going through in that moment and accountability. So notice, I didn't blame Brandon. I didn't shoot out accusations. I didn't emotionally dump on him. There was no silent treatment, no passive aggressive energy, just ownership, clarity, and request for help, request for support. And he met me with curiosity as a result. And think about that for your partners. Think about that with your husband or your wife. Where are you approaching some tender subjects where you need help with an adrenaline rush, and then your language, the words that are flowing out with you are sharp like spikes and daggers because it matches the adrenaline. We need to be able to communicate from that grounded truth, not unprocessed, unchecked fear. Are you with me? And is what women like you need to learn. That your voice isn't just for the boardroom or the stage. Your voice is a tool for nervous system regulation. Your voice is how you get through the tough moments. And in fact, it's in the tough moments that you're going to learn exactly what your voice is made of. But we've got to learn the steps to ground ourselves, okay? So let's talk about the somatic side of things. So how do you ground while spiraling so that your voice, when it leaves your mouth, isn't doing more harm, but it's actually helping? So before you can actually communicate clearly to someone, you have to do some work. You have to regulate your body. So here are the exact steps that I used in this moment. And these are the exact steps I teach inside of the Vocal Honey Group coaching, by the way. Number one, you must acknowledge the adrenaline spike. This is that fight or flight. This is that spiraling feeling where your skin is crawling and everything is pissing you off, but it is temporary. You have to remind yourself that. Your body is reacting to a memory, not the moment. And this immediately turns the moment from identity, like this is happening to me, that person is doing that thing again, and blame, to just information, just data. Number two, self-validation, self-love. I literally had to put my hand on my heart and my chest and said something like, you are safe. This will pass. It's okay that this is coming up. Brandon is a safe person. This is a safe moment. Self-compassion is the balm, the elixir is so big. And this is huge even if you're hitting up the stages. This is huge when you are giving big keynotes and presentations. The more self-compassion you have, the more your nervous system can stay regulated listen to this, during the moment, but also research shows that after the moment passes too, we don't have a crash of energy or we're not, ruminating. Number three, breathe into your belly, not the chest. For me, when triggers hit, it tightens my chest because in the past, my heart was broken due to people cheating or hiding secrets, not letting me in, leading to abandonment. Maybe you can relate. And so my heart center, the heart chakra, tightens. And so breathing becomes very difficult. In those moments, you want to drop the belly way down into the diaphragm. Deep diaphragmatic or belly breathing is going to relax your parasympathetic nervous system to bring it online. And this is going to help you rest. This is going to help the nervous system to understand there is no real threat. Number 4, to what I did to get myself out of that spiral and ground was to slow everything down. I mean, the way you walk, the way you breathe, the way you talk, the way you move, the way you chew food. All of these things are sending cues to the nervous system and the brain that this moment is safe. So, slowness is a form of leadership in of itself. Number 5, I noticed impulsivity. I noticed that my outfit suddenly was bugging me. This to-do list suddenly was like front and center. And I was like, oh my God, there's so much I have to get done in my business. There's so much that I have to get done in my life. My partner was bugging me. I was thinking about the toothpaste bottle and the top that was left off. I was like, I got to clean everything. My whole life became a trigger, became an adjutant. And this is the adrenaline. In this moment, everything becomes the problem. So what I really want you to do is to recognize. And instead of acting on those impulses, redirect your body. So I went to the gym. I did leg day. Why legs? To ground myself into the sturdiness and connect me to the earth. You might go for a walk. You might do some yoga, but moving your body, redirecting the body is how we get out of the head and really feel more in control in that moment and not spiral. Number 6, communicate with a sense of ownership. This is really important. Once my body was more regulated, right? Because I did steps 1 through 5 before approaching Brandon. This is important. Do the work before. Take ownership. Use these tools. Once your body is more regulated, then you can go ahead and reconnect. So I did the work and then I walked out to Brandon and I reconnected instead of projecting in that moment. And that's the difference between empowered, clean, pure communication versus reactive communication. You have to do the work first. You have to take the ownership. Number 7, supportive sound or music. I can't tell you how good it feels to put on the right music after coming off of a spiral. This doesn't happen to me a lot. I'm very grateful. I don't get triggered all that often. I've done the work. But on occasion, when it happens, I really have to treat myself. And I want you to do the same. Use supportive sound. Use some frequency music. Use jazz or beautiful piano and some rain sounds, whatever you need. So why does all this matter? All 7 of those steps, right? Most women think confidence means never spiraling. When we do a lot of the inner work, and I used to believe this too, it's kind of like, okay, brush my hands off here. That's going to be the last time I ever go through that. And I've healed. And we think of healing, we think of rising up in positivity or high vibes or confidence as a linear path. But I'm here to tell you that it's so not the case. We recover faster. However, we're not immune. We're still human. Being empowered also means you get triggered. Being empowered means you feel the wave and the sloppiness and the messiness of being human. Sorry, there's no avoiding it. But we wouldn't want that, would we? Because in these moments is where we rise. The tension is the teacher, I like to say. So as we're going through moments of tension, and we can think of it as the guru, as the teacher, lessons are unfolding nonstop. And when we can have this awareness that, wow, I can actually use my voice. I can use the frequency of my voice in the right loving way to take care of myself and also communicate with others so that I can get the help, so I can get the support I need. You're going to be all set. Being confident is actually the ability to stay connected to your voice while the wave is happening. While it's all happening, in the tension, in the messiness, can you stay connected to your voice? Can you stay connected to your own power? Can you witness it all without losing yourself in it? Because regulation plus communication is that relational safety. Relational safety. And that's what builds intimacy and trust and emotional maturity in a relationship. So, this is the real coaching work, guys. This is what the real coaching work looks like in my world. This is the part that most coaches don't teach. It's how to speak clearly while activated. Most coaches are going to teach you to speak while you're empowered and everything is going great and you're in a perfect moment of the spotlight on you and everything is going well. But they really don't talk about the mechanisms to use your voice while it's spiraling and while you're feeling the messiness of life. How to clearly speak while activated. How to regulate yourself while communicating at work. Hey, that person crossed the boundary. I feel like I'm being overlooked. How do we communicate those boundaries without it becoming a weapon inside of ourselves, burning us alive with anger? There is a way to do that. There is a way to stay rooted in your body while naming your truth. And this is what we do inside of Vocal Honey. This is what moves us from just purely speaking to learning about ourselves while we're speaking in the moment. This is where empowerment moves into embodiment. And this is exactly what we do inside of the Vocal Honey group coaching, which is starting up again in January. So I want you to think about this as you're listening. I want to be this grounded in my voice. If you say yes to that, then Vocal Honey is where you need to be. This is where empowered women come to communicate honestly without collapsing inward, to hold the tension of a big, important moment or a scary moment without losing the sense of trust and the North Star that your voice and your presence is safe even while you're having a big, intense moment. This is going to teach you how to speak your needs while and during experiencing emotional spikes and build deeper intimacy through clean communication where you're taking ownership. Because those of you that are entrepreneurs, you're going to need to know how to do that as well. Your clients are going to demand of you that there are clean energetics. And so that means having deeper intimacy and clean energetics first with yourself as you're learning how to feel the totality of what it is to be human. And also inside of Vocal Honey Group Coaching, you're going to learn how to feel safe in your truth and how to feel safe in your power while you express yourself. You want to learn how to stay grounded in your voice while the tension is present and while we feel dysregulated, not default to shame, because that's what the world wants you to do. And that's what so many women do, is we default to shame. We default to there's something wrong with me. If you're tired of feeling broken, if you're, well, I know you're not feeling broken. None of us feel broken who listen to the Vocal Honey podcast. But if there's a part of you that's like, I want to recover faster, or I really feel like there's still an old memory sitting on my throat, there's something there that blocks me from feeling safe, like I can trust myself in a moment of tension, in a spiral, that I can communicate what I need, or you just want to know a different way, how to ask for the support and love you need, Vocal Honey Group Coaching is going to get you that. We start in January. By the way, the price goes up on January 4th. So if you want to lock in that legacy price of $149 a month now is the time to join, because once it changes, it won't go back down. All right. So I'll put below in the show notes the link so that you can join, and I would love to support you on the inside. Above all, guys, remember this: your voice is medicine, and your voice holds the codes and the keys to help you in the moment get what you need to heal and to bring a deeper communication and respect into the most important relationships of your life. If you take those bold 7 steps to take full ownership and to do something about those spirals. Your truth is your power. Your body is 100% the compass to guide you home. And when you learn to bring all of this together in relationship with yourself and everyone around you, everything in your life will transform. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll see you inside of group coaching and inside the next episode.